Hi, welcome to Base Editing with Dacy. Today we're looking at kitchens. Now, of course, kitchens come in lots of different styles, and you can feel free to make yours however you like, whatever style you like. There's tech, there's arcane, there's wooden, there's white, there's cyberpunk, there's Victorian, steampunk, whatever style you're going to, you can probably figure out a way to make it in the base editor. But I'm just going to show you the regular white counters and the wooden counters. Now I use the stall panel walls for the countertops, and these can be dyed any color you like. And then for backsplashes, either a nice white stall panel wall, or you can try colored. I've tried that before and wasn't real happy with it, but you can do colored if you like. And this is just a pointillist picture to look like tile that you might do the back of your kitchen wall with, backsplash. I put my kitchen counters up on kick plates, just like in a real kitchen. You notice the from the side, get a little bit of a profile there because the kick plate is recessed more than the front of the cabinet. For my center island, I just put one of the counter sinks. This one happens to be gray, but you can't see that, so it doesn't matter if it's gray or rustic or what. I want the sink. I want the big sink. So this one, I put some panels, and these are just the backs of small bookcases to match my overall theme in this kitchen. And then this cutting board, this cutting board is the top of a stereo speaker. And then of course the butcher knife is from weapons. So I've just put over this whole sink, I've just put modern picture frames, and these happen to be exactly the right height when they're on the floor attachment to go and be right over just over the surface, so I don't really have to worry about shift too much, at least up and down with these. I do have to worry about shift from side to side, so you probably will have to come back a few times and either rearrange these or add more to them, but in a good light they don't flicker, so that's something that's very helpful. This right here is a washing machine. It's got one of the ubiquitous stall panel walls dyed to match, colored to match the slushy machine back that is here. And then this panel here is actually a hollow computer, inverted and angled so that just the pink part shows. Then this is a medium half vent from Wall Details. And that altogether is my washing machine. My refrigerator, I like my refrigerator. It's very trendy. It's the French door style. For the surface of it, I use operating tables. I use two in the front, and they're just set up on their ends like so. And I just put them together, and I want to put them about an alphabet letter I apart because that's what I use for the surface. I color these to match the refrigerator and lay them across the top. Start all of those from the same position if you want them perfectly smooth. Then for the door handles, I just use baton 2. So the ones on the bottom, of course, they have their butt end on the bottom side and with the butt facing toward the refrigerator. And then the top ones have the butt end on the top and the butt end facing the refrigerator. And those are a little bit harder to get in position. Just remember the trick I taught you in getting to know your base editor of putting it in the opposite direction and then right-clicking twice to get it to turn around, because otherwise it will come up angled every single time. And then 2 more again facing opposite directions on the bottom. The lines here, I actually use stall panel dividers. Now I used the urinal dividers here because they're so much shorter. Whoops, grab the wrong thing. They're so much shorter than the long panels, and I've got a wall on the other side of this that I wanted to make sure I didn't have things sticking through. So these are very short, and I just use the smooth end. I put them in horizontal, and then the ones, of course, up here I put in vertically, and then I wait and see what base shift is going to do, and then I angle them so that just a little bit of them is showing, and then depending on the position I get from the editor. So it's kind of confusing, but if it's sticking out, I'll angle it back so just a little bit is showing, and then I'll move it down or up to the position that I want it to be in. Alright, my microwave is simply a combat log. This one happens to be active, so I put a stall panel wall in the front of it so that it didn't show green like they will if you don't do that. There are probably some other items in the medical science tab that we have that would probably make very nice microwaves, but I have not looked at those because this one I wanted to have something that was functional. My stoves are very simple to make. They are just plasma TV. This one's just straight up. This one is laid on its back with its feet in the wall. And then there's another one angled at 30 degrees that is the back of the range. And then this is another hollow computer, inverted and angled so that it's at the same plane as the backsplash of the stove. And on the surface I've got a variety of different stove burners that I've used. I like the new Bunsen burners, although they do stick up a little bit. I can't get them flat or they go completely under. That's one step down and it disappears, so I can't have them any lower than that, but still I can have them in different sizes. So I really liked that aspect about them because most burners have burners of different size. But I also like, for a tech type look, I like the Trip Mine because it glows red and it looks pretty cool. It looks like a burner might look, and it's perfect size. This here in the middle is simply a floor lamp that is off and just set in the middle there. And it doesn't want to go any deeper either. This is something a lot of people like to use. It's a high pressure bottle, and that makes a very nice burner. And then it's just another medium vent. This one is a square one. Could use the half circle also. The controls here are just Enrique bottles, however you say that. There's the one facing out with its cap as the knob, and then the flange is just another bottle facing the other way. So you see the back side of it instead of the front side. Okay. The bottom is yet another stall panel tinted to match so that you have the bottom of the stove and you don't see the stand for the plasma TV. Okay, my coffee maker here is simple. It's just a Florence flask. Again, you find most of these things under medical and science. So there's an inverted Florence flask. On top of that are stacked petri dishes. I have one colored black and then two that are just clear. On top of that, for the drip sieve, is a surgical light arm turned around so that, of course, the rod part of it is back towards the wall. Then I've got, this is a refractometer. It was perfect size and everything for the top. It does not have a bottom though, so I had to put some things to cover that up, and turned out the Portal Core keyboards, 2 of them, one on each side, were the perfect size and shape, and those also form the stand to the entire coffee maker. The handle is a toilet paper dispenser. There's a Bunsen burner as a hot plate, very appropriate, and these are upside down portable equipment, and those are also in science and medical. The button is just the top of a bottle of vodka, and the flap up top are 2 Chinese takeout boxes, large size, that are closed, not open. That's pretty much it for the coffee maker. That seems to be everything in the kitchen, except for the hood. The hood, a lot of times I'll do something different, but this is just an armature base. It's in tech. And then a light, which is the wall sconce turned upside down. And then behind that is just a medium vent for a hood vent. Now, a lot of times for the fan, what I like to do is get something out of tech. I'll show that to you here. It's part of the ceiling rails. And the ceiling rail end here, I make that attached to the floor. I'll show you. Oh, it's not going to want to go because it doesn't, that's why I didn't use it. It doesn't want to go that far back because it's not enough of it is in the room. The base editor gets picky about that. But, you know, if I wind back, if I show back and show how that would look, doesn't that look pretty cool? That looks a lot to me like a hood. I've used it in a lot of my kitchens. So I like that for a hood. Couldn't use it this time, so I used the armature arm. So that's what I do for my kitchens. Thanks for listening.